Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gawel Solosky from Bengal University. My specialization is dark fermentation, and this will be my topic of today's webinar. Thank you for giving me a screen. As you know, dark fermentation is process, anaerobic digestion process, which stops all hydrogen production and don't continue to methane production. These waste are usually sugar and fat waste, and if we design the process, we have beside hydrogen also organic waste and carbon dioxide. Of course, during hydrogen production, if we design the process, we by stressing bacteria, we have mostly hydrogen, which can we use, and we have some side products. As I told, this process, due to way, is little hydrogen, so it's interesting to not so big hydrogen, but much waste is converted to make this hydrogen. Therefore, it's very useful to waste management processes. And therefore, it is often combined with other processes, also hydrogen producing, to use this hydrogen or these side products. One of waste type is distillery wastewater. What is distillery? When we produce alcohol, as for example, I know that maybe Pakistan is not good place, but many countries, if allowed is alcohol distribution and production, this industry makes many waste because we have to first prepare this solution and remove from alcohol the side effects like methanol or other products with sugar, because this, in case of ethanolic, we have by yeast using the sugar content, fructose, to produce ethanol. In case of dark fermentation, we use this undigested matter, which is serious process, because if we waste if we don't utilize this waste and we provide waste to river, the river would be polluted because some cyanobacteria would grow and then will cut off the oxygen of the river and will lead to death of many livings in river, and the water such wouldn't be edible for people because bathing or cleaning in such water would make you a skin effect, and drinking will make you diarrhea. So we cannot allow this waste to go. So this waste can be the material for dark fermentation. And one of the concepts, which is from Dr. Kongria, who is very good, very famous professor, who worked all firstly in Denmark University in Copenhagen, he worked with Professor Angeli Daki. His PhD student. He was her PhD student. During his studying on wheat straw, which is popular also waste for distilling in Denmark, he discerned that not as in case of wheat straw, we have different case that in case glucose. So if we grow concentration up to 20 grams in case of wheat, so we have higher production of gas, but not very big. So his concept was to use as a part of the setup for wastewater cleaning. This is that in this distillery kind has distillery waste and much lectural waste. So he decided to first put into two different cases, to dark fermentation and then to use methane production of microbial electrolysis cell. Microbial electrolysis cell is using such bacterial pseudomonas, which, if charged with platinum or cathode electrodes on the other side, would produce some, during the eating some waste, they produce some voltage. This voltage is enough to put some light and enough to split some compound which is in water. So he wants to split this compound to form this also methane and hydrogen. Therefore, he in his study as microbial electrolysis cell, he used popular in methane production of library digestion of kind, but more for this kind methanobacterium, methanolvorans, and methanolfusacina. But first, he was studying two sections. Because if we want to some industrial case, firstly, we use in batch mode. Batch mode is the closed small section, lab scale. Because in lab scale, you can observe unwanted and undesired products. Later, we could and even hazardous that then could be need to be separated in bigger in scaling up the process. So he used that as theater. In case of methane, in case of this waste, unfortunately, most methane yield was 1 volt, so higher than potential of microbial, which is 0.4. We have to be calm that this fuel glycerol can be used as the part of the digestion, as the part of biofuel, biodiesel, and the dark fermentation is nice to separate unwanted this waste into one that can be gases and liquid part. And this is other dark fermentation use this as many acids, as I said, acetic, lactic, also propionic acid. In normal case, if we have no genetically modified bacteria, and then in case of microbial electrolytic cell, we have we can use this way side to split and have bigger gas production, and this is better than photofermentation. The photofermentation is the kind of fermentation which use bacteria, rhodobacteria, which use these waste carbon acids into the hydrogen in the presence of light. This presence of sunlight is the trouble because the production is very unstable and very reliable on light, and this makes the difficulties of using for industrial case because the break in this process can be too high. That is troublesome to industrial process. In case of microbial electrode cell, we don't have such trouble. And microbial electronic cell can be useful for ammonia waste, which also occur in such cases in distillery. However, it isn't the end, but mostly nitrogen often occurs. Then how was this bacteria used? This distillery waste was chosen by Pratha, was a material for producing ethanol, industrial ethanol. So not so clear like in case of consumption ethanol, but also such waste need to be very likely utilized with quite high nitrogen content. And inoculum was some bacteria that was found in palm oil, living on palm, and then he used thermophilic bacteria, so 55 to 60. So he don't afraid to use this bacteria which has slightly higher than mesophilic, but in case of countries which are lower, it's more heat energy demanding. But Dr. Konian decided to use it because he thinks that the efficiency higher and is going better. And he used, unlikely most research, chocolate. So he using not heat to stress bacteria, but using chocolate. So under his consideration, hydrogen stress of bacteria can be made by giving them very much substrate, feed substrate, so it will be overloaded and make stress. And this case is useful, according to him, to wastewater, which enormous waste, and some is for some time will be producing hydrogen. So he used the wastewater of 80 gram per liter, where maximum is 40 gram per liter for bacteria in dark fermentation. So if he was twice the maximal summer of and 4 times than optimal for bacteria, the bacteria are stressed also. So also in this case, forming the sporage form and then allowing to hydrogen production. And this shock can be changed, so not very stable. The pH is 6, as usually to dark fermentation. And this helps to use. There is also some salts because salts are often used in to have a nutrient. However, by my research, it don't work very well, not highly, but mostly scientists use the mixture of, or like Korean, we use magnesium chlorides and some iron chlorides. It's used to be helpful and use some agar plates, but they don't show what is with agar plates. So make some mistake on observation because agar plates also is by itself produces some little hydrogen or not little. This effluent then is coming to the reactor with microbial electronic cell. And this is he chose as the graphite electrode. And on one point he put the microbes. And volume was 2 times bigger than in case of hydrogen production reactor. And he used as another cathode. He uses platinum, graphite, for graphite and platinum, and then he used the sources, and this was that finally the production was increased of hydrogen and methane down in quite higher. So hydrogen yield was the highest in case of mixture of distillery waste to glycerol waste, because it was that if glycerol waste and distiller waste were higher than 98 to 2, the hydrogen yield was quite low. This is interesting because this is showing that, however, glycerol is quite useful and quite good as itself. In case of mixture, the pace with much distilled water, which would be preferred. It's used that some substrates, in case of mixture, they don't give some, so it's the production will not be sum of hydrogen produced from one waste and second waste, but only slightly higher than the lower waste, usually better waste. So this is the trouble of mixtures. This, however, in case of acetic acid, there is reverse. So bigger glycerol effect somehow better. However, with only glycerol, there wasn't any glycerol and any acid. They didn't come, so was unuseful for microbial electronic cell. And finally, the microbial electronic cell produced that there needed, unfortunately, extra energy. So for methane production is not so well, like for hydrogen from ammonia. And this is the trouble, because it's not only green, because we need some energy input. And this is the trouble, that beside ammonia, the most waste need to be added some extra charge to split these compounds. So we cannot split automatically by this bacteria the water and matter and butyric acid. Only ammonia has such potential. But it shows that people try to scientists try to find the composition of different methods that can produce the waste, from waste, maximal fuels as hydrogen, methane, and other compounds, biogas that can be used. So, but in this case, the hydrogen yield was when we use this waste it help that increase mixture somehow from waste, but only somehow, and the production of the utilization of waste can be much higher if we combine different. So we can utilize fully the waste if we combine different biological methods. So thank you very much.